Speculation continues to intensify around a potential blockbuster trade that could see wide receiver George Pickens donning the Dallas Cowboys star. While no official statement has been issued by either franchise, numerous developments within the past 12 hours suggest the deal is more than just a rumor. From cryptic tweets to reversed insider reports, the signs are all pointing towards significant movement between the Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The buzz first reignited when a well-connected insider hinted that a big move was imminent for the Steelers. A simple but telling GIF depicting George Costanza leaving a room set off a chain of speculation. For those reading between the lines, the implication was clear. George Pickens, the talented but controversial wideout, could be on his way out of Pittsburgh. The situation grew more interesting when several Cowboys reporters initially dismissed the possibility of a trade. One noted insider firmly tweeted that the trade wasn't happening, advising fans not to worry. Yet only a few hours later, that same voice took a sharp U-turn, deleting their earlier statement and acknowledging something was brewing. Even Cowboys star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb joined the fray, posting a subtle animated GIF that only fueled speculation. It wasn't long before another credible source confidently stated that Dallas had struck a deal for Pickens. According to this source, the Cowboys would be landing what they believed to be their new number 2 receiver, with the official announcement expected within a day. Whether negotiations were stalling over contract structure or draft compensation remained unclear, but the frequency and tone of the updates signaled high-stakes conversations were underway behind closed doors. The potential implications of such a trade are massive. Pickens, known for his athleticism and deep ball ability, would immediately offer the Cowboys a true outside receiving threat, a role that has lacked consistency since Amari Cooper's departure. However, it's not all upside. Pickens brings with him a history of on-field lapses and character concerns, traits that have reportedly tested the patience of Steelers leadership. Mike Tomlin himself previously said the young wideout has to mature. As of now, the Cowboys appear undeterred. Their front office has long been criticized for conservative trade deadlines, but this move, should it materialize, would signal a rare aggressive push to upgrade a crucial position. With training camps on the horizon and the pressure mounting on quarterback Dak Prescott to deliver, Dallas may be betting big on talent outweighing temperament. But the biggest unknown remains the cost. Will the Cowboys part with valuable mid-round picks? Will a player be included to offset value? And, perhaps more importantly, will Pickens prove to be the reliable weapon Dallas needs, or another example of talent undone by inconsistency? The potential trade for George Pickens didn't materialize in a vacuum. In fact, this saga appears to be a continuation of previous conversations between Dallas and Pittsburgh. Conversations that reportedly fizzled earlier in the offseason due to disagreements over compensation. Sources suggest Dallas was hesitant to move a day 2 draft pick at the time, feeling the value available in that range was too strong to ignore. The Cowboys have historically placed great importance on their mid-round selections, often using them to fill depth and starter roles with team-friendly contracts. However, with the 2025 NFL Draft in the rearview mirror, the landscape has shifted. Future draft picks are inherently less valuable today than they were last month, possibly opening the door for renewed talks. One possibility being floated is a trade that includes not just picks, but players. Among those potentially in the mix, wide receiver Jalen Tolbert, a former third-round pick who has yet to meet expectations in Dallas. While it's unlikely the Cowboys would move off a more recent selection like Jonathan Mingo so quickly, including Tolbert could reduce the draft capital required to land Pickens. It's also worth examining the Steelers' perspective. Pittsburgh's decision-making here is puzzling to some analysts. Just weeks ago, they acquired DK Metcalf, presumably to bolster their receiving core alongside Pickens. Trading away Pickens now puts them back in the same predicament they were attempting to fix, lacking a clear number 2 option. Current alternatives like Robert Woods, rookie Roman Wilson, and journeyman Bennett Skowronek are unlikely to inspire confidence in a playoff run. So why would Pittsburgh move on? According to some insiders, concerns about Pickens' fit within their culture and scheme may have accelerated this decision. While the talent is undeniable, his emotional discipline and inconsistent effort have raised eyebrows in Pittsburgh's locker room. The organization may be opting to cut bait early rather than deal with prolonged volatility. On the Cowboys' end, there's cautious optimism. The team believes its locker room leadership, especially veterans like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, can help steer Pickens toward maturity. There's also confidence in the coaching staff's ability to design a role that maximizes Pickens' strengths while minimizing distractions. Still, the precise value of a Pickens trade remains hotly debated. Some argue that given his production and ceiling, he warrants a second-round pick. Others say his volatility and short leash in Pittsburgh should downgrade him to a day 3 valuation, particularly if he's viewed more as a one-year rental than a long-term fixture. These questions are at the heart of the current stalemate. Dallas wants to upgrade without overpaying. Pittsburgh likely wants to avoid appearing desperate. Whether a middle ground can be found will determine how this situation evolves in the coming hours or days. As fans and analysts wait for official confirmation, the potential George Pickens trade is being dissected from every angle: talent, temperament, and team strategy. From a football perspective, the upside is obvious. Pickens is one of the league's more explosive young wideouts. With elite body control and catch radius, his ability to stretch the field vertically complements Lamb's route versatility and Prescott's deep ball proficiency. In theory, Pickens could complete a 3-level attack that includes Brandon Cooks in the slot and Lamb in motion, creating defensive mismatches across the field. But the question remains, does the reward outweigh the risk? Pickens' production in Pittsburgh was solid, but not without issues. Drops, missed assignments, and emotional outbursts have plagued his young career. Even those who admire his talent acknowledge his inconsistency and maturity challenges. If these problems persist in Dallas, the Cowboys could find themselves having sacrificed valuable capital for yet another underperforming WR2. Moreover, there's the issue of future commitment. If Pickens thrives in Dallas, the Cowboys will have to decide whether to extend him and at what cost. His rookie deal won't last forever, and a breakout campaign would drive up his market value, potentially creating difficult salary cap decisions down the line. Some analysts are calling this a classic boom or bust move. If Pickens matures and meshes well with the Cowboys' scheme, Dallas may finally have its long-sought wide receiver 2 to pair with Lamb. If not, they could be left with another cautionary tale of betting big on talent without fully considering the baggage. One under-discussed aspect is how this potential deal reflects on the Cowboys' broader strategy. In recent years, the franchise has been criticized for playing it safe, relying on internal development rather than bold acquisitions. This trade, if finalized, would mark a significant departure from that pattern. It suggests the front office is feeling the pressure to deliver now, while Prescott is still in his prime, and the NFC remains relatively open. Of course, this is all contingent on the deal actually going through. As of the last credible update, negotiations were ongoing, with final details likely hinging on pick protections or conditional terms. It's possible the announcement could come within hours, or not at all, if talks stall at the 11th hour. In the meantime, fans are left to speculate. Will the Cowboys finally make a bold offensive addition? Is Pickens the missing piece in an offense that has at times felt too reliant on Lamb and Prescott's improvisation? And if the trade goes through, can the coaching staff and locker room keep Pickens focused and effective? As the league awaits official confirmation, one thing is clear: this is more than just a late-night rumor. The Dallas Cowboys appear to be all in on shaking up their receiving core, and George Pickens might just be the high-risk, high-reward gamble they're willing to make.